The Chitrik Academy is dedicated in loving memory of Rabbi Tzvi Hirsh Chitrik.
Mishnayos Sukkah, Perek Aleph, Mishna Tes. Amishalish defanis milmayla lamata. If one hangs the walls of his sukkah from above, im gevaya minaret, if it's higher than the ground, shleisha tfachim, 3 tfachim, psula it's pasul. Here we have the first case of the Mishnah. If the walls of your sukkah hang off the ground more than 3 tfachim, then it will not be a kosher sukkah. So you have 2 buildings, and you decide instead of building the sukkah from the ground up, you're going to build a sukkah, you're going to hang it to the poles hanging between 2 buildings. Now, the walls of your sukkah do not reach all the way down to the ground. So the Mishnah tells us that if the space in between the sukkah and the ground is more than 3 tefachim or more, then it's not a kosher sukkah. Each tefach is somewhere between 3 and 4 inches. There's different opinions regarding the length of a tefach, but so 3 tefachim would be between 9 and 12 inches about. The Mishnah continues. Milmata l'mayla, in gevaya min haaretz, if you build the sukkah from the ground up, if it's higher than the ground, 10 tefachim, kshera is kosher. If it's higher from the ground, 10 tefachim, it's kosher. So here we have the second part of our Mishnah. If your sukkah is shorter than 10 tefachim, it will not be kosher. Meaning that you build the walls from the ground, or the walls touch the ground, but your sukkah is not higher than 10 tefachim, then it will not be kosher. But if your sukkah goes higher than 10 tefachim, it's a kosher sukkah. If it's, let's say, a very short sukkah, which is under 10 tefachim, then it will not be a kosher sukkah to eat in. The next part of the Mishnah, Rabbi Yehuda argues, Kashem shemilmata l'mayla 10 tefachim, kach milmayla l'mata 10 tefachim. Rabbi Yehuda says, the same way that when you build the sukkah from the ground up, and it has to be at least 10 tefachim high, so too when you hang the sukkah from above, it can be off the ground at least 10 tefachim. If it's off the ground more than 10 tefachim, it's not kosher, but if it's less than 10 tefachim off the ground, it's a kosher sukkah. So here, Rabbi Yehuda argues on the Tanna Kama. Rabbi Yehuda says that if the sukkah, when you build it and it's touching the ground, and it has to be higher than 10 tefachim, that if it's less than 10 tefachim, it's not kosher, and if it's more than 10 tefachim, it is kosher. So too, the sukkah, when you hang it from above and it goes down, it doesn't have to go down till 3 tefachim for it to be kosher. It has to be hanging off the ground less than 10 tefachim. If it's, let's say, hanging off the ground only 9 tefachim, it's a kosher sukkah. If it's hanging 11 tefachim off the ground, then it won't be kosher. So Rabbi Yehuda argues with the Tanna Kama. The last part of the Mishnah, Hirchik es asikuch minat fanos shleisha tefachim psula. If one moved the schach from the walls 3 tefachim, psula, it's pasul. Here we have the third case of the Mishnah. This would be a picture of your sukkah from above. If you look down onto your sukkah from on top of the sukkah, you have the walls will be down here on the side. This will be the top where the schach sits. Here we have the schach. Now, you didn't have enough schach to cover the entire sukkah, but what you did was you covered only the middle of the sukkah. It was not near the wall 3 tefachim. It was away from the wall more than 3 tefachim. Then it's not a kosher sukkah, because the schach has to be close enough to the wall that it's less than 3 tefachim. And this, we're talking about all the walls. Here we have it's close to 2 walls, less than 3 tefachim. It's not going to be a problem. But if it's away from the walls, 3 tfachim, let's say, would be only in the middle. Right here would be the schach, which this is 3 tfachim away from this wall, 3 tfachim away from this wall, and 3 tfachim away from this wall, and 3 tfachim away from this wall. Then it's not going to be a kosher sukkah.